Hey, y'all ever seen this little frog do this? Yeah. Yeah, I'm an adult man, so we're gonna go ahead, get an enchanted item, and see what kind of havoc we can wreak on the bazaar. Okay, these great items. I'm a pearl kind of guy, because being a pearl kind of guy means you can be a water Wheelington, a water wheel Walter, and that's just the reality that I like to live in. We're just gonna take 4 gold here. Go get a neutral item too, but let's just take 4 gold, get a little bit of extra gold under our buttholes, and I mean, this is the guy that's just shields, so he could give us some scrap, and we'll need that extra shield to go ahead and get more poison on this guy. So that's what we're going to be looking for, something, some way to scale our shield up. I've always wanted to do a run where turtle shell actually works. This has potential to be that. And I'm thinking if I could get like just a classic kind of water wheel, pearl, pufferfish run going on, but if I had like turtle shell in there too to scale up my shield live during a fight and then get more poison on this guy without much he's going off, that could be pretty peak. We could also look for a good burning item in Toxic Flame. Like if we got just an incendiary rounds actually with Toxic Flames, put it next to our pearl, perfect, then they would bonk off of each other and scale up. So that could be pretty sick too. So those are kind of the things immediately that I'm thinking about. But we'll see where this all heads. Sure. I wouldn't mind even just putting the fishing rod in here, but let's grab this skill. For simply a poison skill, or just, yeah. We want a shield skill over a poison skill. I mean, it's 2 poison. This is also 2 poison, but it's also 20 shield, so we'd rather have that. Upgrade on pearl's not that good. It's just 10 extra shield. I love haste items. I love other smalls, too. Let's take a free haste item. Okay. That's not what I was thinking it was gonna be. I wouldn't even mind taking you off the board and going like that, which is not even that great. Either that or I don't want to put the extra second of haste into fishing rod. Like, full on, this guy could have like 1 little healing item and fully just blow us out of the water. He's an early Vanessa, so he's probably weapons. Yeah, I mean, it's just Mantis Tramper. Fiery Calico, actually, you got a really good enchant there. Oh yeah, this guy's gonna trounce us. That's fine. We'll try to get on board after this. But if I can get a water wheel, especially if that's what we're trying to go, even if we are going like Sea Dogs, but I prefer water wheel, I'd rather put the rocket boots into that and get that extra second of haste. Because putting it in a fishing rod, which is an item that is usually never going to stay on board anyways, just seems like kind of a waste to me. Seems like we're actually going to be able to kill him here, which is a little bit surprising to me. Like, I didn't think we'd be able to make this much shield, but taking that shield skill, putting that little scrap in there was really a difference maker to where he couldn't break through. And he was getting crit chance up on this guy, which would be scary if he actually did hit those crits. But honestly, if I was him, I would have put this right-handed on the cutlass, because that's the thing that has a built-in crit chance, I believe, 10%, right? And also is going to go off and double cast, and it has a 1 second duration longer cooldown than Calico, I think. Regardless, though, there's even 1 second less. I don't know. Point being, he could have played that better, but either way, we got the win, so we're not going to complain. Any chance I get, even though I really want to get some medium items, to go to Fins, I think we should take, because we can do this, get some health, and immediately put more shield on our Pearl to just get him with more poison. We don't have anything for little bro here. I think they should make Chum food, because there's no way you're telling me that freak of a little monster isn't eating a bucket of Chum if I put it in front of his face. Like, you really going to tell me that? Because there's no way. Could do a... Okay, I was going to say we could do that last item, but nothing wrong with Piranha. Okay, now we can take this fishing rod off board. Zorkid is something I'd be interested in just putting the extra second of haste in. With a lighter, that's really good. Put all this on board. We don't necessarily want... You're right, Mouse, right? Yeah. We don't necessarily want to haste the Pearl. Not usually, at least, because you want to haste other stuff so that it can charge other aquatics, charge the Pearl, right? But at this point in time, I'm actually going to keep the haste on it as well. And I'm going to go for Boar here, because I think I can take him. As much damage as he does do. And he has a ticket, so I'd love to try to get that ticket. But, oh, also, frontal shielding actually would be pretty good for us. Again, this piece of scrap would be pretty good for us. As of right now, since this is also a poison item, this guy has no cleanse, so that can stack up and be most of our damage. Is again, already 20 poison on him, maybe 25 pretty quick. So I feel like that's probably just the best way to do it. Not bad there. Maybe a catfish. If I can find a puffer on this early day, I wouldn't mind putting it on board already. It could still be really good for us. But there we go. The only other problem is that it's going on to our seashell here, which is not necessarily even a problem. I could level up the Zorkid and get it another extra second of haste, which I do like the idea of that as well. But I'm going to check Quixel because we have a little bit of money. Not you, Julian. I might piggy bank this a little bit, and I'll actually take a roll on that. Jerryfish. Jerryfish is interesting to me. So is Pop Snappers a little bit, but I skipped one earlier. I'll skip one again.
This is how you win the war.
Bronze Aquatic, give me that, yeah. Let's see. Another chum. Okay, Silver Chum's not bad. If we can get our crit chance up, that's another way that we can really start flexing this guy's damage. And in fact, that gives us a second Piranha. And we can go to this Schoppensteins here. Let's see, you're going to be able to go on board. We'll obviously reposition that in a second. You can take the free weapon or apparel. It's going to be silver tier, so we get a little money off that. Or we just check the non-weapons. Which I will do, actually. It's an expensive cove, so we're not going to piggy bank that. Always love me a silencer. Oftentimes you can make it work, even if it's not a single weapon type crow's nest build. But right now I don't think it's the goo that we kind of want to suck on. Now, you're 7 seconds, so you're definitely not coming in. We want our weapons, or all of our aquatics, to go off as fast as possible. 5 seconds, 6 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and put you over. Well, we want you next to the U because you're getting hasted and you're getting charged, so then you'll be able to give this guy perma-haste as close to it at least. And then we'll put Chum next to you because that's the 5-second item as well. So, and you're a little extra poison, not a bunch. And honestly, the little extra shield from this guy, I kind of wish that was a silver seashell, which I could have made happen with the B1 and B2, but simultaneously didn't. I'm glad that the choices we did make. This guy's scary. I mean, just dualies in general have been really scary this whole season. From like 4 different builds even, you know? There's been hydraulic press, there's been dinosaurs, of course. There's been just burn builds like this, which are really good, especially if you have like plasma grenade, which feeds straight into this red firefly. He's a dead little piece of scum, by the way. There's been railgun, drill has still been good. Like, dualies just been enjoying this season. So I hope he gets flattened into the dirt, is what I'm trying to say. Come the new season, I just mostly destroy. Mostly destroy, I just hate, because I hate getting 45 minutes into a run, and then they like destroy the key part of your run, and then you just don't get to play, and you're like, oh okay, that was fun. There's a catfish. Could scale with Zorkid, which is probably a good idea. So in that case, give me a skill. Sure. We'll take that. And I'm down to take out one Piranha, move you over, so you're not going to get hasted anymore, but that's fine, because now you can scale good poison from all 3 of these, and we'll still keep you going off pretty quick. In fact, I'll even move you over, because you're a 5-second just like this, but you're going to be getting hasted now, and you're still getting charged. And then I like chalky bars for sure, but let's check Andrew. This wasn't what I was planning to buy a bunch of, but at this point they keep throwing it at me, and even just a gold Piranha, if you get his crit chance up, could be some extra damage pumping in a way that does matter, so I'm not against it by any means. Pretty sure we can take Hover Bike, just with the extra shield we have especially. I would love to get this guy to silver on this day. Make a note of that. Let's go ahead and do it. The other 2 options are completely fine. The first Dabbling Apprentice there also has a ticket, which is why I mainly would want to go there, but I wasn't too hyper-fixated on that. We can get a 4-win, at the very least, to just start here, basically from just this board, and obviously we'd have 2 more slots. If we can just upgrade the items, because like this guy scaling at silver, this guy getting extra haste at silver, this guy getting a little extra poison at silver, that kind of stuff, this guy getting more shield at silver, is like the little boost we need right now to just keep us scaling for the first 4 days, especially before people really take off. Something I particularly want to transform,
Good fights
really?
lately? Oh, I do miss it.
Okay. There's nothing I particularly want to buy out of those. I'm going to roll just for Zorkid, which we're not going to find. But if I could have found a
I hope
Zorkid,
you live
I would have
long.
been into it.
Rally, men! Blades to the wind!
Okay. Let's see here. I could put both piranhas on, or I could haste something. Even haste you for some extra shield. Or haste you to really get the crit going. The question is what we're upgrading.
Well,
And I know I said I want to upgrade this, I want to upgrade this, I want to upgrade this. But if we upgrade Fishing Rod, we can get extra econ out of it and start getting silver versions. So it's like, why would I spend one node, which we're going to hit another upgrade anyways, which I'll probably put on Cat, I think, so we can get some extra poison going out there, which is more aggression versus more survivability that we could have got from the seashell. So if I lose because of that, then that's on me.
you should know.
But we can just get silver small aquatics out of the fishing rod as well. So it's like, why would I go level up the seashell if maybe tomorrow they just drop me a silver seashell, right? This guy's gonna run out of ammo. His Julian is not that thick yet, and he has some burn that is kind of scary, but now I'm very happy that we have a good amount of shield. And hopefully our crit chance gets up to where we can hit some crits here. 62 poison, yeah, completely fine. Look at that, that was a nice crit shield out of the seashell there, only at 24%. That was good, 220 shield off that. Shield, of course, being such a good counter to this burn, and once he ran out of ammo too, he was really a lot less scary. He has a good build in the works there. I'm sure he'll get there if he can just manage to kind of stay afloat, but also, that run's also done, so we don't need to talk like it's still going, but it's fun to me. Okay. I don't really want to play that. Again, I just had a Mantis Shrimp run yesterday. I always love a Captain's Wheel. A disguise can give you some goofy stuff. Well, we do have burn and poison. The problem with this is it's not aquatic. And so if I want to spam this and get more shield off this and like all that, it doesn't fit as well. It would just be good now. And I have a slot that I could fill instead of this. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of 3 times cast. Like, that's some helpful damage early. If we find something else, then we'll swap it. Sure. I'm just getting a little extra money instead of taking that shop right there. Well, first of all, I don't really like that shop because it's not specific enough. You never know exactly what you're going to get. This makes the Zork go off faster versus you taking 7 seconds. I don't know if I can beat this guy is the thing that scares me.
Step right up.
So he just puts a lot of upfront burn on you. I don't know if my shields can get off the ground fast enough. Looks like no. Yeah, that was probably a mistake, I guess. Yeah, it's actually really close too. Oh my god, actually, I could take him. Okay. I was like, no, we're screwed. One more tick, we were dead right there. But these things came in clutch. Jeez, okay. Probably not a smart idea. I'm just trying to get as much money as I can on this day because this could be the day that we get the water wheel and okay and can really start spiraling down. That's absolutely beautiful. So now we can actually start scaling with that. So now maybe we do just want to play Weather Glass.
People first,
huh.
Profit 10.
Love me some rowboat action, but okay, we put a freeze item in, suddenly you can 4 times cast, huh? And I could scale some other stuff. I could scale like that. So now I can scale your guys' poison from Yeti Crab and lighter. Can go crazy bones. I'm honestly going to go like this so I can haste both of these. Okay. Drag you over. You're fine there. If we can get to 20, we can grab a ticket, which we can get to 20. So If I get a slowing item, I can give ×5 multicast on this. Which, if it's an illusory, please. Okay, or that's fine. The only thing is I lose an aquatic from having that on the board. Because for some reason, doesn't everyone think this should be aquatic? Like, when I think of this item, I'm like, yeah, it's an aquatic item. Since this thing isn't getting directly hasted anymore, I'd rather keep in Jellyfish, which is getting hasted a lot from these two. Because its poison's going to scale. Toxic Flame, of course, if you don't know. We burn, your poison goes up. You poison, your burn goes up. So, that's kind of peak for us. Yeah, ×5 multicasting from this. So we have it all. We have burn, poison, slow, and freeze. So that was a good day. And pivoting to this Weather Glass, that's what we're gonna play. And honestly, we could play this for quite a while and get success out of it. But of course, this is more so what I want to see, most likely. It just takes us so long to get off the ground there. Once we do, I mean, that was a pretty good smattering on him. Like, he's dead before he can even get this off. That's why this is a nicer item. I only 7 seconds. Of course, this can get more multicast on it. It can scale harder, especially later into the game, and it has freeze as well, so it can really slow some stuff down. So if you put it next to a Yeti Crab, it can also self-scale like that. But regardless, that worked really well. I just wish this was aquatic, which technically if we got a diver's helmet... Huh. That's an interesting thought, actually.
I'm a people person, and sometimes
That's beautiful. There we go.
how about this
I
weather
like
we're
the
in?
idea of seaweed. I'm going to hold it. Sure, you're more scaling for when you do go off.
Back for a refund.
And you're absolutely amazing too. The problem if we roll away from too many aquatics is this won't get charged. Because it needs aquatics to get charged. You going off a bunch charges it great. But then if we take, a bunch of these out, it's not charging as much. Sea Shadow's not what I'm looking at right now, although I do like the idea of it. Smalls, there are a lot of smalls I still really do want. Okay. You're probably never coming back. We do need to get health too, I understand that, but at this point, if we can do stuff like that and just keep slowly rolling up, you actually get an extra slow target? It's kind of interesting, actually. I wouldn't usually spend on that, but I'm like, if you just slow 3, I didn't know that thing went up like that. I can get more rocket boots from this guy. He's already at 3 seconds, though, so it's not that big of a deal. So let's just take Trash Down and get as much money as we can. And technically, actually, augmented defenses would be pretty sick. We could get that, start hitting a bunch of gumball machines and chocolates, and get our pearl pumping. Take a sip of water here really quick, excuse me. As you can see, though, especially with the permahaste on this, this is all scaling like pretty crazy. That's kind of the power of Toxic Flame. I mean, 69, 96 coming off of that guy. 250, 285, obviously the big hitter here, but 95. Yeah. Okay. And that's nice. That's a ticket. That is a ticket, and this time not even for the DUI that I usually have to pay for. Okay. I like the idea of Curio. We didn't get augmented defenses, so gumballs are not that lucrative for us. A little late for a knee brace here, but I'll take the cooldowns, of course. Damage, not a big deal. I'll just hit a roll here. And that's not bad, actually.
That's a bargain.
Cooldowns, shield, extra slow durations. Now you're slowing 3 for 2 seconds, which is pretty sick. Crusher Claw. Funny, but not funny, haha. Funny, weird. And, again, I don't really care about the damage. I mean, York goes off a lot, sure, but it's not particularly the craziness that we want. Sure. No matter what, we're going to have one weapon in play, right? It's more health than you. Your weapons have their cooldowns reduced. This isn't bad because Zorka can go off more often. But I'm honestly just going to take this because it's the cheapest one. And now this thing, starts off with a little extra poison and then scales up like crazy afterwards. And we have this ambergris for 10, which we can sell in a future day. I like this chum a lot. The crit has been very nice. I'm sitting here thinking I could swap it for the seaweed. This is only silver, or bronze though. Its shield is really falling off, especially since it's only at 90. So maybe we can swap it with this and take that crit chance still. I'm going to do so. Maybe a bad play. This guy's at 1, but of course he plays a lot of Bazaar, as you can see. So he should have at least a very good understanding of how the game works. But I'm not going to act like we haven't gotten lucky. But he's going Proboscis with a lot of health because he's been going for the knee brace. If we can get 1 cast of Weather Glass off, I'm pretty sure we can burn him down pretty good. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. Okay. Look at, oh my gosh, 400 when it goes the second time, 346 on that burn. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then we didn't really scale as much. That's the other thing. Is like, again, this isn't aquatic on the Weather Glass, so it's not going crazy with those aquatics like you usually want. So you might even want to branch away from being as aquatic of a build, which I'm really just looking for. That's kind of nice, actually. That's really nice, actually. We have to keep this because it's our slow item. We have to keep this because it's our freeze item. This didn't even, like, go off. It went off once and you have, like, 120. Put this guy in. He's gold. 2 seconds of haste. You know, that's gonna be hot. We'll keep going. I really want to find, like, a large that we can kind of define this with. If they're silver, we'll be able to afford it just by selling ambergris. Sea Dogs is interesting. Because we could have 3 friends easily. But if I have those 3 friends, this is a slowing item. I need to remember that, so we wouldn't need the grappling hook anymore. That could work. That could definitely work. Let me think about this. Sell you. What comes off the board to put that in? Obviously you, because again, you don't need another slow item. We'll take you off. And the problem is we can't take Jellyfish off because it's another friend. So we're only going to have, 4 times multicast on the Sea Dogs. 1 on its own and then 2, 3, 4. Because these little knuckleheads. Which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. And then I can... Promise I can't keep dive weights in there then. Which is really going crazy, but this is aquatic to make you go off. So I don't technically need dive weights. We're going to try it. We're not locked into it. We could definitely pivot away. I will say both of these shield perks are hitting Pearl now, which is really nice. It's starting 10 poison. Left mouse, okay, make sure that's on there. So the next thing is we only have 1 Zork it. I kind of would like to Zork this. At the same time, Zorking the Lighter is so good. I have to keep it on Weather Glass because it's so much of our damage. But you want to move over 2 because I want you between 2 aquatics. But I want you to touch Yeti Crab because you're going to poison for more than this guy almost ever will because you'd get charged. So we can put you, well, put you here because that'll be a ×4 multicast. That will proc that up. It takes the leftmost, but that's not a big deal. And, this guy actually has some okay stuff for us, but again, we want as much money as we can get. I'm not attached completely to this Sea Dogs. This is actually one of the times where I think a water wheel could be better because we could pump it really easily with this Pearl. Again, we need enough aquatics going off to pump the Pearl, but with the Sea Dogs going off, it's actually pumping the Pearl quite enough. Now, if we get the Sea Dogs to be something like restorative, it gives us some cleanses, some survivability. Or, again, I got 143 even just from that guy. Even better than that, we could get this to be burning or poison, and then scale everything else. Upgrade a silver or lower. Does Weather Glass get lower? I want to look this up really quick. Weather Glass, cooldown stays the same, burn and poison go up. Okay, in that case, we're going to go ahead and hit the Sea Dogs. It takes a second off its cooldowns, now it's 5 seconds. Goes to 4 seconds at Diamond, and of course we can bring that down ourselves if we can. Get some other opportunities to do so. I wouldn't mind checking this shop because there's some stuff I'm willing to sell. And that's something that I really like to have. So the faster he can go off, the more you can put that haste back on Sea Dogs, which you want to go off as much as possible. This is another friend. Problem is it's just another slowing item, which this is our slowing item, so we can't take out another friend. We actually can trade that for this friend. Because our other poison item already is Toxic Pearl. So quite technically, we could do a different friend here. I didn't really even think about that. Because taking you out, problem is it goes to ×3, right? We don't like that. You're never coming back. You actually sell for more here. But I want to put you in instead of you. The problem is you're scaling too. Even if it's just a small amount of scaling on that jellyfish, it is scaling up, right? Because it's poison. So I like the idea of that. There's so many smalls we gotta check. That's not necessarily something I want to sell for, but I will. It's because it's only 2, and then we can roll with the other 2 money that we just got. And gold seaweed really does interest me for some actual survivability. And pesky Pete actually interests me too. Adjacent to a friend or property. Like, we could... He would be under burn item, so he wouldn't need lighter. I like lighter because it makes this go off really quick, which is super nice. But this is already a 5-second go. This isn't going to get this charged before this goes anyway, so it's not as big of a deal to have the lighter in there, even though it's still very nice, especially as a 3-second item. But this would be a item that we could put in between. Yeah, I'll show you. You two go away. Move this over. Put Pete in. He's between a property and a friend, so now he's ×3. This is ×5 now, and we still have our burn item to keep this at ×5. And then when this goes off, it will absolutely Zork this guy. It's just, instead of a 3-second cooldown, he's a 7, but it should still be fine. Now we really could replace that jellyfish with a different one. I think at this point, a catfish will be better than the jellyfish. This is gonna perhaps hurt a lot. Get some shield at least. I mean, our Pearl is at 86 shield. It's not charging incredibly fast, but our burst down there, ooh, that's really good. It's gonna fall off, but for right now, it's doing very, very well for us. I would love to get a perk that can get us started quicker too. That's the next thing we need to super look for if we can. But that was pretty nice. 48 from Pete. And again, he goes off 3 times, so it's 3 stacks for all of our poison items. So everything goes crazy with each other there. No bronzes I really care about at this point in time. Shield items obviously would be great. I don't really want to sell you. I would. Okay. Now that actually gives me a lot more interest. We won't scale the burn as much because that poison jellyfish won't be going off as much. But that's actually really nice too. We still stay at ×5 on both of these. And this can charge up off all the slows from this guy. So he can actually do some extra burst damage for us. Just straight burst, which we do need. Let's get a bunch of money here before the fight. And then on the second half of the day, we can really go brazy mode and try to find some item upgrades because we really need to. Chili Charles has more money on paper just from killing him. But Treasure Turtle has bags of jewels that we can get on both sides. And another ticket, so any of these items would be fine for a big burst of money. This is the item I was saying earlier where it would have been interesting if I got a water wheel. When your shield items gain 10 for the fight whenever this goes off. You use another non-weapon item, it charges this once. You get a water wheel, and you had a pufferfish going crazy, and you had the pearl going crazy on the side of the water wheel, then this would just be getting more and more shield, and getting more and more poison. So that's kind of what I was saying there before. Another ticket, cool, we can just sell that. We'll level up again. Weapons, no. Crit, interesting. Gold tier, sure. Own strike, recover that item against 5%. We're not particularly critting right now. Slow your items gain crit chance. I like that. And this might be... I like that too. I'm gonna dig because I'm like, there could be something really good. Flurry of blows, first 4 times use weapon each fight, charge 1 item. That's really good to get us started. Strength is fine. The first 3 times use a non-weapon item each fight, charge 1 weapon. Charges Orchid. But I like this more, because we're charging Zorkid so much at the beginning of a fight. Pretty soon after, and then he can charge our other stuff. And honestly, we come back and get mixed messages at some other point. Mixed messages with Flurry of Blows together would be pretty sick. I want to spend our money, but 800 shield is too good to pass up at the beginning of a fight when it takes us a little bit to get going. I wouldn't mind looking in weapons. I wouldn't mind just taking health at this point, especially because I can just take that 10 and immediately get 10 back on the board before we go into this fight. So now we have extra health, and we have extra shield from that relax. And this guy's not doing too well on his run yet. So hopefully that's a thing that can help us. He's going one weapon sniper rifle, so he's trying to one-tap us. Ooh, the Obsidian Silencer, he's bringing the cooldown down. I see what he's going for. Oh, and he has a Bloodhound, so he charges it up 3 more seconds if he does knock someone down to half. Luckily for us, I was going to say, I don't think we really care, even if he crits us there. That's why we take the Relax Shield. If we didn't have our shield, it still would have been fine, because we were building our own shield anyways. But that was good. I gotta check these stats here real quick. 265, 275. Oh, yeah. You're only doing 75, but you do scale these two twice. And you're hitting not that crazy, actually. You only punched once, but then again, that guy was pretty easy to take down. Could get better, but we'll look for a different friend there, perhaps. Yeti Crab only really staying in because he's a freeze item. If I got a different freeze item, that'd be sick, but again, it has to be a freeze item and a friend. It's kind of the holdback with Sea Dogs. So that's kind of where you get stuck with Sea Dogs.
Need some work.
Blah, 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 region. Yeah. Huh. Interesting, even just to sell. When this gains haste, this gains 5 burn for the fight, which is fascinating. Again, if I didn't have to keep up the friends on this board, I would do it, and I don't think that's as good as Weatherglass, because this has poison and burn, so it's scaling everything just really, really well. We could just get extra slow duration. Slow items gain +2, yeah. I actually like Black Ice too, it's very interesting. And this would be another freeze item, but again, it's medium, so then I have to take 2 things off, which would be 2 friends off. So we lose 2 multicast of this. You know, just to keep our freeze item, which don't hate the idea, but not quite gonna happen. I know this wouldn't have taken that, but still. So this thing slows for 4 seconds. That's really good. That kind of lockdown is exactly what we need. Don't want a second Mantis Shrimp. Throw him into the void. I really want large items, but at the same time, leveling as much as we can, especially as we're trying to blitz towards level 10. It's huge, and we got a bunch there. Silver tier aquatic, silver tier item, or just loot. There are some silver tier aquatics I do want, but just show me loot. Maybe a cinders or something. It's kind of one of the last things we want to see. I'm honestly going to put that on the Zorkid because I have more faith that he'll stay on the board than this guy will stay on the board. So I'm not too worried about him. I think I can kill Burninator Bot, and I wouldn't mind his passive skill right here. First times you slow each fight, charge 1 burn. We're looking for stuff like this, right? We already got Flurry of Blow. Anytime we can just get skills like that just says, use this and then charge this is what we want, so we can get just everything proccing as much as possible at the beginning to just scale as much as possible, get the haste going, and then kill within like 2 casts and most of our stuff. So that's perfect. And that's even when we probably want to try to get rid of Mantis Shrimp for a different friend if we could, because now first time you slow each fight, which is literally just once this goes off once, right? We want that to only go towards Pesky Pete and the Weatherglass, because hitting the Mantis Shrimp is just kind of a little worthless. So if we could get a different friend there, I would really like that. So I'm honestly at the point where I would put this guy in, keep us at _5, and he's only going to get 2 times cast, but honestly, he's not like my main go-to man right now. He's just kind of there because the Mantis Shrimp wasn't working. Tortuga's a fun idea too. I'm just gonna take a small non-weapon. Wow, okay. They really want me to use that lighter. I'm not against the idea. Android 420, bro, is smoking up in the Android facility. He's not doing well, but he does have his lethal, so he could be scary. I'm trying to take a drink of water here really quick, if you don't mind, while we take this fight. Okay, his defense crit, it's only a bronze, it won't be that much for him. 271. Nitrogen Hammer is kind of scary. And his freeze coming out on us is actually going to be very scary, depending on what it hits. So yeah, we're actually going to die on this, yeah. His lethal that he just got on that cryo sleeve Oh, unless... Okay, our slows were super good for blocking this up. He can charge it, but... Yeah, our slows were super good for blocking that up, and... His cryo freeze... was honestly hurting him more than helping him. I see what he's trying to do with that build. He bonked us down pretty quick at the beginning, because it went off twice, but then our slows came in really clutch. Because I guess after a second, really once we cast probably twice, this is slowing 5 items for 4 seconds, so it's doing a lot of slow. Once we lock them down like that, then we can actually start coming back, so that's kind of what happened there. Still do want to get this guy's shield higher. We'll go Toxic Fumes, give us... I think it gives you a higher chance for like poison stuff or something. I don't even really know, to be honest. I'm pretty sure we can kill Boulder Trap before it can go off, especially because we're going to be able to perma-slow it. So, I'd like to do that. So, let's see. Goes up and then... Yeah, look at all those charges, like, immediately. Even the Yeti Crab went off pretty quick there. I think they might have hit with some charge. Not quite sure. As you can see, those boulders, 20 seconds, 16.8 seconds. Pretty good there. I would like to get this guy leveled up, even though he doesn't scale that well off his leveling, but it would still be something.
Let's take the tyrant's whole kingdom.
Okay. I said earlier restorative would be really good on Sea Dogs, and it is. And I still am considering taking it. Haste is great too. The thing with restorative on a ×5 item, and you're going to see the heal on this is not that crazy. It's 45. But it's 45 times 5. And at the same time, that's 5 cleanse procs on any poison or burn that's on us. So that's the biggest thing there. That's what we're looking for. Actually, pretty good loot for us. Okay, you can go away. You get out of here. You can get out of here. You can get out of here. You can get out of here. I'll hold you guys because... No, I'll hold one of you. It's possible one of you is used later. I'm just going to move some of this for now so we can grab some of this. Put more shield on you. We love to see that. Get you on here. Get a little more damage on our little boy Zorkid. And then... Don't put the base poison on here. I feel like, honestly, on the Pearl is good because it's going off so much. So I kind of like having it as just the base thing with that poison. And then having this scale kind of off that as it multicasts, obviously. So this Mythkeeper actually has an amazing skill for us. Your shield items have shield equal to 100% of the poison on your enemies. So this could instantly put us in a place where we have so much survivability mixed with the healing, and then, like, look, we could have 169, 212, 300. All that extra poison will be right on top of our Pearl every time it goes off, and it's charging like crazy, right? So if we could get that skill, we'd be pretty goated with it, but we're going to get a little freak instead. When an adjacent item slows, this gains 8 poison for the fight. If I didn't need all my friends in, that could actually be really hype. Because what that could do is go right here, and every time this slowed, this would gain poison for the fight. And then it would go off and, you know, scale the rest of our stuff. But, if I saw right here, which I did see, correct? We got Maytoin Altar. Sure. Basically, the last part is all that matters. When you sell this, enchant your leftmost item with Toxic. We're going to take that so we can make something else toxic. If you make Pesky Pete toxic, then he will scale all of our burn and poison every time he goes off, just like the Weatherglass is. We could also make Weatherglass itself toxic, so it would be spurting out even more poison at like a double rate, which would be really sick as well. And we can even make Zorkid. But since we have pretty close to Permazed, if not at Permazed, and some good charge at the beginning, which can even hit Pete, which before I really wanted most of the charge off of this skill to hit the Weatherglass. Now I kind of wanted to hit Pete, because he goes 3 times and he does the poison and the burn. Chia Promkun. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's see about that. See about that, pal. I want to get our Toxic Flame skill leveled up, so we can get a little extra scaling on it. And then we just need to keep getting our items leveled up. If we can get Pesky Pete and, like, all these smalls just get into Diamond really quick, they would just take them out of the loot pool, which would be sick. Taking this long to go off kind of hurts, especially because this guy is regen, but he's not getting stacked up too fast. But he's kind of scary here. I think we're fine. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Yeah, look at Pesky Pete. 67, 112, 67, 57, 67 on this guy. So I'd love to see what was our output there. Again, 15 times, so that was 15 cleanses, and just 675 heal in general. It's pretty darn good when you think about it. 325, 279, 280 off this guy, 91, 151. Not the best from Pete, but I mean, he's there to scale more than he is to do damage particularly. If we can get the skill up, then he can even do some more work for us. And honestly, this is the first time I've ever played with Pesky Pete, so just having him on board is pretty cool to me. I'm just going to take the extra XP. I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. I always ignore that node, and it screws me over in the future, so I'm not doing that. We're just doing that. Okay, actually, I really want to level this, but first 4 times you use a weapon each fight, charge 1 poison item, which could be any of these 3. And like I said before, just going faster is the biggest thing right now we need to just blitz our enemies down. So now we have 3 different skills that charge stuff at the beginning of a fight when we can get our items to go off. That's perfect. That's what we want to just really start rushing people down. Some interesting stuff in there, but again, we really can't shake this up just because of how restrictive Sea Dogs and Weather Glass both are. This is as good as the build really can get. I don't know if I can beat Volcus, he kind of scares me. And Lord of the Wastes, I know I can beat. His skill is just not very useful for us, because, I mean, this is our only weapon, it's not critting anyways, and even if it does, okay, it doesn't do that much extra damage. But look at that at the beginning of the fight. Instantly, so much of our stuff charges, and if it hits the right stuff, we get lucky then. Stuff goes off quick. Stuff goes off pretty darn quick. That's what we're looking for. Some good haste spread across the board. What's he going to give us? A pendulum. Actually an amazing item. Again, if I have more space on this board, I would definitely look at that. We're just going to go free loot here most likely. You are a tool, which would be nice. But free loot, I feel like, is always just better. Okay. You're not freezing that often, or else I would take that. Plus 3 burn is actually pretty sick. That's 9% cooldown. We're going to take that. That's just too good to pass up. And we're going to go ahead and throw that right here, actually, on the Sea Dogs. So we haven't got it to Diamond yet, but then a 4.6. And if we do get it to Diamond, we can get it down to 3.6. Because the quicker those goes off, the quicker everything else goes off, especially with these 3 perks. So that's what we're trying to look for. Curio could actually be very good for us, but skills are things that takes kind of this stuff to the next level. If you have at least 7 items, your items have their cooldowns reduced. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's do that. So now you're down to 4.1. So you're down to basically the cooldown you have at Diamond. So if we got it 2 Diamond, which if we win this day, then we won't have to worry about that, which I guess we'll see against Mr. Rastastic here. But even this, like 4.4, 6.2, 6.2, 5.3, 6.3, and 7.2. Pretty cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab this last win. If not, then there's some easy improvements we can make on the next day. Leveling up. Was that level 12? I'm at 11. Okay. I was going to say level 13, you get like you're guaranteed. Oh boy, that's actually really scary from this. You have crit. You don't have that much crit. Let's see if you're a lucky guy. He has a... Okay. He was not lucky with his crit. So we're just going to go ahead and win. So that's a perfect victory for us, which makes me a happy man versus... Yesterday's video ended, which you can go ahead and watch that, but we got hardcore ripped off at the end of that one. But today, no, it's just going to be a perfect little victory here, honestly, with this Toxic Pearl as kind of the goated guy. Wow, that makes me happy. I think off that, I'll definitely have enough to do with 10 banger chests here. If you want to stick around, let's go ahead and make sure I get a screenshot or 10s of that. That's pretty sexy right there. I mean, that all went in conjunction really well. This is the perfect thing to kind of cap it off at the end, just put everything down to lower cooldowns. And these 3 skills, especially bringing all the charges up as soon as really this went off. And then you come in with the Toxic Flame, of course, and just scale everything up, because let's not act like Toxic Flame is not just still overpowered perk, even though it got nerfed after the beginning of the season. And that ranked me up to gold 3. Very cool. I'm not really trying to get past that particularly before the season ends, but there's a few days left, so if I can, I wouldn't be mad. Get some cooler rank rewards. Alright, let's go open these chests real quick. We'll do a 10 banger, and then we can end the video off. But that was a very good one. Almost to 5,000 gems. That'll be sick. Let's go ahead. Alright. Give me the board before the season or something. Ooh, mute? Nope. Okay. Fair enough. Decent gem pulls from some of those. None of these NFTs are that cool. Nor are they really new. I think I have all of those, but regardless, still fun stuff. If you did enjoy today's video, I really hope you did. And if you want to like and especially subscribe so we can keep growing the audience here of people who do enjoy the Bazaar and want to watch these videos daily, I would very much so appreciate that. If you want to go ahead and check out my links in the description for my Discord server, you can go ahead and talk to me in my community, or to go ahead and check out my advanced GG link where you can get 10% off your order with code Roger10 at checkout. I would very much appreciate that because I get some kickback there. Or even check out the channel membership so you can get early access to these videos every single time I upload them. Although that is going to do it for me today. So, as always, have a great day.